Hello, friends of Second Helpings. Welcome to the Culinary Job Training Class 155 graduation. A class that also happens to contain our 1,000 CJT graduates. We'll let them tell you which one's number 1,000. I don't know. So we are so glad you guys all were able to come today. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for supporting this amazing class. Having these folks in the building day in and day out is such a game changer for us as a team, as a staff, for our volunteers, the energy they bring, the excitement they bring every day. It is our joy to get to work alongside. I'm going to introduce today's graduates. I wish we had some. Emily, next time we got to do a dan, 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 dan. All right. First up, Joshetta Baker. Joyce Casey. Jennifer Coleman. Nikolai Cook. Damon Thane. And Charles Taylor. Give it up for class 155. Thank you. We're so excited and we're so proud of you. Thank you so much for being a part of Second Helpings the last 7 weeks. I hope it was as amazing for you all as it was for us. We're so excited to hear from you today, but we got a little bit of stuff to get through before we get to that point, but I can't wait to hear what you all have to say today. So thank you. Thank you for stepping up and doing this with us. We're so glad. This program is nothing, of course, without its chef instructors, so I'll introduce Kyle Burnett and John Askelson. And of course, you'll hear from them a lot more today as well. I want to give a big thank you to WRTV6, who is the sponsor of today's class. I believe we have folks here today. Wave. Thanks for coming. We're going to have the graduation ceremony, then we're going to have a reception and celebrate these graduates, and then we're going to regroup and have a little bit more of a reception and ceremony around our 1,000th celebration as well. So just give you a sense of where we're headed today. But since we have so many folks in the room, I just want to do a quick thing. Who are the other graduates in the room? Raise your hand. There we are. I know there's more. Second Helpings current staff, raise your hands. Second Helpings former staff, raise your hands. And of those former staff, former chef instructors for CJT. That's right. Thank you all so much for coming. And thank you to our employers. Celebrate some of our employers today. Employers, raise your hand. That's all right. Thank you. I think you're going to hear more about this today, and board members, raise your hand. We got any board members here? There's one. There's two. It takes a village. I mean, really, truly. I mean, we say this all the time. We were doing volunteer updates this week, and we were talking about our volunteers coming in every day are doing some of the most important work in the city, right? They're literally making food that people are going to eat. This organization, none of this work happens without all the people in this room and all the people that couldn't make it today that help us and help these amazing students, soon to be graduates, get through the program. So we're so part of what we're doing. It is my pleasure to introduce one of our illustrious founders here at Second Helpings, Jean Payson. She's going to lead us through the next part of our program.
So I've had the pleasure in the last 15 or 20 minutes to hug more necks than I've hugged in a long time. So there are some returning people that I haven't seen in years. One of our first board members, Bill Harris, from 1996. Yes, he's old enough to be. Bill, raise your hand. Thank you. And a very special thank you to Betty Stanford. Betty, stand up. Where are you? I know you're here. Betty, stand up. Okay. Stand up, stand up. She can still stand up. Let me tell you about Betty. Betty was part of us before we were us. So she helped us pull together people. She introduced us to folks that we had no idea we needed to meet. She taught me things that I didn't know I needed to know, and I'm still relying on those gifts that she gave me that many years ago. So thank you, Betty, for being here. I want to say that I'm delighted to be here. 6 of you, to help celebrate your achievement. You're not joining a group of people who've chosen to make a difference. You're joining a group of people who want to change lives. We're very happy for that to happen. Your act of commitment to Second Helpings program might have been your most recent decision that you've made for yourselves. We're so glad to have helped support you through that decision. You worked hard. You've probably done things that you didn't know you could do, like read and study again. How hard was that? A pain in the neck, I know. If I had to sit down and study the way I know you all had to study this last 7 weeks, I don't know if I could do it. The other thing that I know that you learned how to do is look at the sharp end of a knife and whack away with confidence. That is a pretty nice thing to learn. So, I want to tell you that never in my wildest dreams did I believe we would be in this building celebrating 1,000 graduates. Although my co-founders, Christian Cordoza and Bob Cook, would tell you that we dreamed of this kind of success when we began. My first job as one of the founders was draft a business plan. Me, write a business plan? Are you kidding me? I was a pastry chef. I didn't know beans about writing a business plan. I didn't know about buying trucks. I didn't know about renting buildings. I knew squat. And even more than that, I had never written a grant proposal. I had never sat before a donor and said, hey, trust me, give me some money. So, what I want you to know is everything that we did here was by the seat of our pants. Look around. Can you believe it? By the seat of our pants, and look what you all have done. This is a community-led organization. It is not about 3 people. It's about thousands of people. And I'm going to tell you how I come up with the math. So, I didn't know how to write a business plan, but I learned. One of the methods that we use for forecasting, and that means guessing how many meals we'd make, or how many agencies we'd serve, or how many students we would train. We grabbed numbers. We called other agencies across the country and we said, what are you doing? And there weren't many, but there were a few. They weren't doing what we were doing. We were going to do it better, of course. So, I don't want to bore you with the details of how all that came about, but we knew it was coming and we knew it was going to be big. So we designed a BHAG. Do you know what a BHAG is? BHAG. What the heck's a BHAG? A big, hairy, audacious goal. That's where BHAG is. We created a BHAG. How many of you have created a BHAG in your life? How many of you knew you were creating a BHAG? Well, a couple of you. My bet is you've all created a BHAG, but you didn't know it was called that. So, you are part of my BHAG, and I'm proud to tell you that. It's pretty important. So you think you're part of 1,000 people who have been touched by this program? I'm here to tell you that if I was going to write a grant proposal today to one of the largest donors in Indianapolis, this is what I would say. Well, we started out with 6 individuals who wanted to learn, study, and become part of a team and create personal success. They completed their assignments, and they went on and they created their own BHAGs. That's 6 of you. That's okay. Out of 1,000, not yet. Well, then the proposal gets really good. The donor will want to know the long-term impact of their investment. You don't just write a grant proposal and say, I'm looking for 250 grand. You have to tell them what you're going to do with it. This is what I would write. In 25 years, 2,419,000 people have benefited from the training program. Just the training program. Not the food rescue, not the meal replacements, just the training program. 2,419,000. Where in the world did I come up with that number? Listen, I learned how to get really creative, so I probably had a few people turn me down for my creativity. I went back through your bios, and I did the same thing with your bios that I would do if I was writing a grant proposal. I created a spreadsheet on Excel. What else? Okay, so each one of you thanked a bunch of folks. Shetter, you thanked 128 people. Joyce, you thanked 38. Jennifer, 559. Nikolai, 18. Damon, 1. We'll talk about that. Charles, 1,555. Where did that number come from? Emily's shaking her head. She's thinking, okay, that's not on the last grant proposal I wrote. So, some of you thanked WRTV. There are 122 employees at WRTV. Each one of those people walked in the door every day and saw something in the building that referenced their donation and their contribution to Second Helpings. They thought about you, their lives were changed. Your employers. Do you think your employers know where you've come from? They do. So we had a few of those. We had the illustrious chef instructors. We love you. We had staff. I'm guessing how many? I guessed 31, so I should add 8 more to my puffed up list here. Miss Ann was thanked. Miss Tanya was thanked. I don't know who your sisters are, but I love them. You thanked your sisters. I have praying sisters also that I'm grateful for. You have spiritual parents that you thanked. Someone thanked their classmates, which was pretty darn good. Someone thanked themselves. Way to go, because if you can't thank yourself, you can't thank anyone else. Some of you thanked the volunteers. 500 volunteers. So that's how those numbers got puffed up underneath Jennifer's. And so and Charles, they kind of cheated a little bit. The support staff, I counted 6. Sam Brown, side note, Sam Brown is my heart. Sam Brown was one of our first students. Sam has done more in 25 years than most men have done I can't even tell you. And Sam came from a background, he called himself Bumpy Head. Do you all know what Bumpy Head is? Come off the street and ask somebody what Bumpy Head is. It's the name they call gin, that if you drink too much, someone knocks you on the head and you get bumpy head. Sam had bumpy head. Sam turned his life around. He came to us. He gave back more than, I can't even tell you what he gave back to us. And he's still giving. So kudos to you for thanking Sam. That counts for another 1,200. One of you thank God. I'm sure that you all, if you had it to do over again, might thank God, because I thank him all the time for all of you. And the last one was donors, and I put down 1,000, just because it sounded good to me. So we ended up with 2,419 people that you thanked, an aggregate number. So now if you'll let me fiddle around with the numbers some more. If we do 2,419 times 1,000, we end up with 2,419,000 people that your program has touched. You want to come work for me? I'll show you how to get a good raise. Okay. So what I want you to know is that each one of you have had the opportunity to do more, which you will. You'll live more because you can. You've made a commitment to your own personal BHAG. I hope so. And the next time I see you, I want to know what the next phase of your BHAG is, because I know there's going to be more of the story. Congratulations on your achievement. I'm proud of you. Thanks. If it's not on the list, I can't do it. I'm sure it's right in front of me. I need to introduce Chef Kyle, who we love dearly. Come on up.
First of all, thank you everybody for being here today. I don't even know how I'm about to begin to follow Jean. Thank you so much for being here, Jean. I know you said that this is not about 3 people, but I'm sure what you guys probably didn't realize, and maybe you did in the back of your mind, that as you began to build this place, what you were doing was also building legacy, and we thank you for that. So. 1,000 grads. 1,000 grads. You guys today, your graduation is not just about you. It's everyone. It's about everyone who came before you, and it's about everyone who comes after you. Because, as I just said, this place is about legacy, and you guys are now part of that legacy. When I sat down to write a little something, I didn't really write. I more got like bullet points, but I was trying to think about each one of you and observe, and what I've observed over the past 9 weeks, because we've extended it to just for this celebration today. And over the past 9 weeks, I have seen each of you grow. I've seen each of you be challenged, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, possibly even spiritually. And my favorite thing is to just kind of sit back and watch, because I know that you're going to come through. I believe in it, and I believe in what this program does. So I have one word for each of you, and this word is what I feel has encapsulated what has been behind your drive to get through the program, and then also something that you might have gotten out of the program. And this is just my own personal observation, okay? Jeshetter. Belief. You believe in yourself now. And if it's okay that I share, this is your second attempt through. First time around, right? But that wasn't failure. we hit pause, we regroup, we come back. And you're here today because you believe in yourself. Joyce, victory. Faith calms the storms, right? We had a pretty painful storm, but here you are. Nikolai, discovery. You are more than what you are more capable than what you may even realize, buddy. And I think that you discovered that, and that's why you're here today. Jennifer. Sorry, I jumped right over you. Jennifer, drive. Right? Drive. You're driven. You were here because you had a deep-seated motivation from the start. You knew the direction you wanted to go. We talked a lot about vision. You had a strong vision, and you were driving towards it every day. That's why you're here today. Damon. Humility. You got out of your own way. You too had to come back and hit pause, right? First time around. And that's okay. Failure is not until we quit. And you came back totally transformed, ready to be open and learn and listen and slow your mind down enough to get out of your own way. And that's why you're here today. Charles. Vulnerability. I know, right? That one tripped me up a little bit too, but as I got to thinking about it, you started to open up. And it wasn't until that you opened up that you were able to see that you need to open up, to let others surround you and help you fight the battle. There's going to be more battles down the road, and you got to stay open to keep fighting. And so these words, not just for each of you though, these are all things that 1,000 classes have been through. Right? 1,000, you're not the only one out there in the fight. Remember that. Remember, if you get out there and you start to be successful and build a business or get into a position of leadership, the best thing you can do is pour into others and build up others. You can come back, you can hire grads, and continue that path of mentorship that just as you received here, and carry on the legacy. You come back to serve and volunteer. You're always a part of this family. Right? We love you guys. Next, I'd like to introduce my partner in crime, Chef John Aspelson.
First, I'd like to thank our sponsors, visitors, families of graduates, colleagues, and of course, our graduates for being here today. Graduates, we've learned a lot over the past several weeks, not all culinary, and I'm glad that we shared those experiences together. Graduates, you're about to learn much more out there in the marketplace. I wish you all nothing but the best. I also know that I'll be here should you need anything, culinary or otherwise. Know that the pressure that has been applied to you should give you the energy to spring into the new season in your life. I can't wait to see all of you burst onto the scene and show all your skills, either you've learned here or that you already brought into the program. I think that some of you all have been selling yourself short. I think some of you all was talking a good game, and like Chef said, it wasn't just a singular person that got humbled. I think a lot of you got humbled in the fact that you thought you knew, but you didn't know that other people knew things that could help you. And I think it was bumpy. It's not, there's no way of cutting that. There's been a lot of grace, both given and taken. And that's a lot. A lot of that is being able to survive in a space that everybody brings a different thing to the table, and we can all cherish and make those things valuable. So I'll just say this: look for the value, because someone looked in the value in you all, and we're here because you said, I got value too. So please, again, I'm here, Chef Kyle's here, we're all here because we value you all. You are of value. So please go out there and show everybody what this place is worth, what you're worth, So I'm really proud of you all, and you all have come a long way. So, tip of the hat.
All right. Now we're going to get into some of the more exciting business. We have some class awards that we'd like to give out. And the first one is for the Certificate for Outstanding Performance on the ServSafe exam. So we still, even through the revamp, ServSafe has been one of the unchanging, unmovable rocks here, because as much as we value good tasting food and all of that, we also have to remember just how important it is to keep the food safe for the people that we serve. And so as our new students come into the program on week 1, day 1, we hit ServSafe hard. And ServSafe encompasses all the ins and outs of food safety, service and holding and cooling and heating and all of that, all of the things that come along with it. And it's a kind of a mad rush because we do it all in one day. And first day, it's pretty mentally exhausting. So the students take the exam and we highlight the highest scores. So out of class 155, make sure, okay. Our certificate for outstanding performance on the ServSafe exam goes to Mr. Damon.
Another thing that we have that is a bedrock of this program is the explanation, execution, and proof that the execution is landed, or that you understand the execution, is our knife skills program. Lots of frustration, some cut fingers, some muttered curse words maybe. It's, one of those things, but we got better, way better. And this person established themselves as a pretty tough customer when it comes to this. So the certificate for the most outstanding performance in knife skills, the certificates for Mr. Damon Fang as well.
and the next one is my favorite one, the Ralph Comstock Soup Award. Okay, and this one's really exciting this time around. I mean, it's always really exciting, but it's double exciting. That's a pun intended. And so the Soup Award is the Ralph Comstock. We named it that because Chef Ralph Comstock was a volunteer, and he was a renowned chef across the city. He worked for Ivy Tech as a volunteer instructor. He worked for Aramark for quite a while, and he gave many years of his life and time to come in and volunteer with the students. He trained them in all things soup, stock making, and soup making using Ralph's recipes. And so this has been a coveted honor to receive this award. And it's the most favorite day of the staff and the volunteers, because the students blind draw on Chef Ralph's recipes, and then they prepare the soups, and then staff and volunteers vote on the soups. And it's exciting. Students have fun with it, and everybody just loves Soup Day. That being said, this time around, and this does not happen very often. I think in my almost 5 years, we've had this happen twice, so this makes number 3 that we've had a tie. And we try really hard to not let a tie happen, but we, aside from Chef John and myself voting, which we don't do, we grabbed every single person in the building and chased them down for votes, and we came up with a tie this time. So they all made delicious soups, and our winners today had prepared a potato chowder and a tomato bisque soup, which means Charles Taylor and Damon Fain took the soup competition.
For so long.
Okay, so I could count on this guy being here. Clockwork. Never missed a day. Never missed a question. But you know, there was a lot of growth in this guy. To be honest with you all, when we talk about confidence and building and doing that, he was here for it every day. And I didn't have to take attendance with this guy because I knew as soon as I walked in the door, he had a question for me. So I was like, Nikolai's here. So, Nikolai, you have the certificate for the perfect attendance here at Second Helping. So,
and that concludes the awards portion of today's. And next we will be moving on to Miss Norris Snoggle.
This is the only job I've had where we argue about who has the best job in the building, and I think it's me. And my favorite part of having the best job in the building is that I get to introduce the graduates. So, Jushetta Baker. So you've heard a little bit about what they've studied, but the pin that Jushetta is getting signifies that she is a certified kitchen cook, which is a national certification. They are also certified, as you heard, in Serve Safe. They get a certificate of job readiness, and they've learned CPR and first aid, among other things. Joyce Casey. Nikolai Cook. Oh, I'm sorry. We all did it, not because we don't, yeah. I am so sorry, Jennifer Coleman. Sorry about that, Jennifer. I think because Nikolai is the first person we see in the morning. Thanks. Nikolai Cook. Damon Fain Jr. Charles Taylor Jr. And just like Soup Day is the favorite day of your class, when we get to hear from you is our favorite day. So it's time for student remarks. So we'll start with Jushutter.
Hello, everybody. I would just like to first off admit the fact that God, I wouldn't have made it this far because I originally quit for the second time verbally until I admitted it to a student. She was like, "No, just shut up, don't leave. Finish. And I've always had a history of that, of beginning things and not completing them, seeing them to the end. So I ended up staying, and she ended up not even graduating. She ended up leaving. And it just shows how God works. I love God very much. I plan to have those 10 Bibles read by the end of the year that I promised him. I'm heavily spiritually inclined person, and I love life. I love all walks of life. I love people. I'm glad I have this endeavor to take upon myself to be able to venture off on and do more in life. I plan to open 2 businesses, not 1 but 2. Deli coffee shop and also a salon, because I'm taking beauty college in December. And I just plan to, go all out. It can roughly take anywhere from a 10 to 20 year period, but it can be done. I'm still got a little youth on my side, and I just feel really good about it. Managing my weight, that's going moderately well. I didn't think that I would be able to last 9 weeks standing up 8 hours a day, but it happened. And it just goes to show God made it all possible. And I want to especially thank my mother and brother who have been supporting me financially, heavily. I couldn't done a lot of things without them because they have been there. I thank Chef Kyle and Chef John for having faith in me and believing in me when I didn't even have it myself. You can't beat that. So I always remember you guys. I love you. I always think of you. I try to come every now and then and show my face and visit. I even think about doing a little volunteer work, because I'm already doing that also. So I just want to say, cast all your care upon him, for he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joyce, Chef Casey. This has been a trying time for me. I lost my sister. I lost my stepmom. But God showed me that if I just continue to trust him and continue to press, that I really can do all things through him who strengthens me. So I want to thank my chefs for always being here, always having an encouraging word. Everyone who works here, who always gave me that moment when I needed it. My classmates, I know we had it like bow, but we did that. So I'm grateful for each and every last one of y'all because I got something from everybody. And I just want us all to continue to press towards what our the high goal that he has for us, and also what we set for ourselves. I want to thank our sponsor who sponsored our class. Woo! We appreciate you guys so very much. And I want to thank my kids, my daughters, Talisa, Latia, and Dominique, for always being there when I needed them and call. My spiritual parents, I love you guys so much. My sisters who kept me going, kept pressing me, all through the years of my life. Joyce, you got this, you can do this. So being a chef has always been a desire from a long time ago. So my next step is to go to school to Ivy Tech. I'll be enrolling for in August the 22nd. I will make it up to the sous chef part. So thank you guys so much and have a blessed day. Very short. I'm Jennifer. Yeah. I would like to thank everyone for coming. Thank you, chefs, Chef Kyle, Chef John, volunteers, classmates. We made it. It's been a long 7 weeks, but I enjoyed it. It was a great learning experience, and I'm very appreciative. And so, thank you all.
Yes, hello all. I'm Nikolai Cook. And now, if there was a game that I love to play and kept last, it was more than 20 questions, because I asked way more than 20 questions. I'm so glad that all the classmates are graduating, and thankful for our HR people and all the volunteers and second helpings, and especially my family, who made sure that I got here on time every day, and the chefs as well, who made sure I got here on time every day as well. And that's honestly the reason I got here on time, was because of all the supportive people. And I'm thankful for my classmates, because I might not be the best classmate, I might not be the easiest classmate to deal with, but I appreciate their patience, and I appreciate how no matter if someone in class was down or anything, the classmates would help them, and that they wouldn't put them down. They would help them if they felt sad or anything. And once again, we made it. That's all my remarks. Thank you.
My name is Damon Fain Jr. First, I want to thank God for just giving me the opportunity to be here. And I want to thank everybody that actually came. It's kind of awkward. Everybody here is of value to my life. I might not know you by name, I might not know you by face, but your presence have actually changed me. I'd like to thank my chefs for actually just giving me their wisdom that they gave me. The staff for just doing the work that they do. Especially Miss Tanya, you know what I mean? She rooted us on from the beginning. The actual people that were here before y'all, especially Chef Keith, that man said, if I change my image, I changed me. And I did, you know what I mean? I didn't know that I just had to continue to stay out of my own and let God direct my path. And he has. And I really want to say I appreciate everything that y'all done for me. I finished my first semester at Martin University next week. I plan on going to Ivy Tech to get my culinary degree. It's crazy how it's not the start, it's the finish. It's the finish. And the start was kind of rocky, but my finish is going to be even stronger. Thank you.
I don't like talking in front of a lot of people. That's different. I get irritated easily. But this has been a process. Getting to know all of these people, especially one of them. But it has been humbling though. Like the weirdest moment I had just happened actually like 2 days ago. He was teaching me how to roll, Chef John was. And he was like, don't get the wrong idea. But he put his hand on mine and I said, bro. But no, it's opened me up. And through life, it's been a lot of fights, but these two right here, I think I would have made it without them, honestly. But thank you, everyone. Played a back role in my life as well. And God bless you all.
I would like to introduce two other members of the Culinary Job Training team. Tanya Watson, who's our Culinary Job Training Coordinator. And clearly the students' biggest cheerleader, so we're grateful for that. Ann King is our employment specialist. So she works with the students on teaching job skills and on helping them find great employment. So thank you for that. And I'd like to recognize a couple of instructors that have helped our class as a guest. So Anna Powell is here. She's taught classes over the years. Elaine Elaine Gaither teaches very important classes to our students. And I don't know if Byron is here. There was pizza day with Byron. And since I've got the microphone and it's the 1000th graduate, I'd like to recognize a couple of chef instructors that help us get there. I think that Chef Carl Conway gets the farthest traveled award. Yeah. He was in New Orleans yesterday and came for this. Chef Keith Brooks is here, or was here. Chef Kathy Jones is here somewhere. I just did some quick who I think have been the chefs over the years, and I think that almost 50% of them have been here today, so that's exciting. And another great volunteer and who's really helped the classes along the time is Chef Jeff Bricker. We'll talk about him a little bit more later. Especially we'd like to thank Jen Tornada, our special events manager, for helping us pull this off. And to John Miner and all of the hub team and the transportation team for really cleaning this space up. Usually this time of day, it would be full of vans, so thank you for that. We'd also like to thank people who have helped sponsor field trips for this class. So Ivy Tech, Chef Bricker, the Marriott and JW Marriott. I think Lee Young is here. Thank you for that. The students also went to Smoking Goose. And I think the most exciting thing is they got to participate in the Juneteenth Foodways Festival. And, so that's great. So without further ado, there's cake. So please help yourselves. A little reception, and we're going to move things around just slightly, and then we'll do some more celebrating. So thank you, and congratulations.